Well, hey everybody, it's your good buddy 650 Eve here. Welcome to season 6 of the new bike build series. This season we're using a brand new 2019 Kawasaki Ninja H2, and with the help of our channel sponsor, the magnificent Miami Manny from Motor Million, and in this episode, my good buddy Brock from Brock's Performance, we are transforming that motorcycle into something truly special and amazing. And at the end of the build series, we are giving it away to one of you outstanding people viewing this video. Information on how you might win this motorcycle is in the description. In today's episode, the master mechanic Zack is going to talk about why it's important to lower a motorcycle such as our Ninja H2 once it has the extreme power that our bike already has. And this bike is even going to get more power, so it's even more important to have this bike lowered. So with the help of our good buddy Brock, we're going to lower this machine. Let's go inside and talk to Zack. Here he is.
Hey, what's going on everybody? Welcome back for part 2 of our Brock's edition, where last time we installed an awesome Sprint air filter to let the bike breathe better. Indeed. And we took a sweet look at the supercharger spinning with the air filter off. This time we have some lowering links so we can lower the rear end of this motorcycle down, because now that the swing arm is longer, it doesn't need all the leverage from the shock, so we can change the rate of it, lower the bike down. It will help it launch harder in a straight line. Minimal negative effects on the cornering, still at speed. You'll notice that it's low speeds, but not at high speed. Yep. And personally, I just think it looks goofy with the longer swing arm and it being at full height compared to your bike.
Yeah, we can take a look at that.
Yeah. So we're pretty much going to just copy the dimensions of Eve's bike because it seems to work really well.
It does.
So we will just lower the forks a couple inches in the triple trees. They sent us a kit to raise up the steering damper so that it clears the forks.
Perfect.
And then we're going to put our lowering linkage in the rear. So this linkage is what connects between the shock, the unilink, and the swing arm. And if we make this longer or shorter, if we make it shorter, it'll make the bike taller. If we make it longer, it'll make the bike lower. Yeah. So they have little height adjustments on here, and we'll set them to both the same thing and put it on, and we'll torque it up and be good to go. It looks like it comes with some instructions. Let's see what they have to say.
Well, when you explain it like that, even I can understand it.
Let's see. Any stickers?
We usually get stickers and jelly beans.
Yeah, jelly beans. No, jelly beans. Must be a jelly bean shortage.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, we got pictures. I like pictures.
Oh, color pictures too.
Yeah, color pictures. Good stuff. That should be good. Now we can spin the nuts off. Over here. We got to get them loose because they're the mechanical lock style. You can see the little metal tabs in there. That locks it into the thread, so we don't have to use Loctite or anything. And then might just have to pick up a little bit back here to find a spot where there's the least resistance on our suspension. And there's one stock linkage removed. And same thing over here. Hopefully there's enough clearance to get the bolts out. That's the only thing I would be worried about. We might have to remove the side stand, which is no big deal because we have to remove it anyway. We're putting a shorter one on because when we lower the bike, we can't use the same length.
Ah, that's right. Brock sent us a side stand also, right?
Yes, he did. So with our adjustable links, we need to make sure that they're both roughly the same size before we install them. So I like to just measure the overall bolt that's left here. And since we have the same amount and we can double check the window, the distance in the window here. So this one's got to turn just one more time, I'd say. Cool. We're allowed to be within 1/10 of an inch. 11.6, so that's perfect. And we'll just do that for these other two. And then we're good to mount them. We wound up having to remove the shifter and the side stand brackets. They were all Loctited in place. They were kind of a pain.
Indeed.
But that makes room for our new parts to be installed. As you can see, we're going to be a good bit lower because before it was pretty tight on the pry bar, and it's going to take a big lift to get this up in here.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So yeah, that's a big difference.
Yeah.
Wow.
Look at that.
It's gonna be a lot lower.
Yeah.
All right. You can also tell that they're the same length when everything lines up.
Yes. It's a good thing when it lines up.
Yes. So we'll hold that, snug it up, and then I got the torque specs brought up. I think it's 34 Newton meters, but we got to put the wheel back down.
Okay.
All right, nice and snugged up. Reinstall our side stand because we can get in there with a wrench to hold it. And then if we wanted to make an adjustment, we would just loosen these lock nuts and spin the centerpiece the same number of turns on each side.
Okay.
So it's not the easiest with the exhaust in the way. You might just pull this canister off and then make your adjustment and put it back on.
Yeah.
Cool, so lowering link installed. You can see how much closer our plate is to our rear wheel.
Yes.
We might actually have to address that.
Yeah, our good buddy 5 Up says that his rubs the wheel.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. Maybe we'll just make a little bracket or make a minor adjustment so we can tilt the plate up a little bit higher.
Yeah.
And then we won't have an issue. Up next for us, though, we're going to get the new side stand on.
Yes.
While we're working over here.
Fighting to get the kickstand off?
Yep. Nice and tight. You don't want that to loosen up.
No way.
Yeah, it's a very important part of the motorcycle if it's a street bike, you know, because
Yes.
it constantly has the weight of the bike leaning against it. It needs to work as intended. It needs to stay folded up out of the way while you're riding.
Yes.
All right, cool. So it does. It has the provision. This is all we need for our side stand switch to continue working. So that's awesome.
Yep.
We'll take all our stock parts, it looks like. Yep, the bushing's made to fit right in there. Fits perfectly.
Yep. I expect nothing less from Brock.
Of course. We'll put a little bit of moly grease on there.
Okay.
Just so it'll go up and down smoothly forever. So we got our side stand bolt back through. It moves nice and freely. That's what we want. I'm going to go ahead and torque it to 108 Newton meters, and then we'll torque the 3 bolts that held the bracket on that were in the way. And we can hook up our switch and then our spring, and we're all set. We'll just adjust the height of the side stand and lock it in place. Although it looks like, judging by your bike, yeah, we might have to go up 1, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, it looks so.
Because this is our adjustment area right here. And I believe there's slots that it has like certain positions that you adjust it to. It's not infinitely adjustable.
Okay.
So we got the side stand tight. Let's tighten up the bracket. We can hook our spring back up.
Do we need the rope?
I think we can use the rope. I don't know. We will find out here.
There you go.
No problem, right? Yeah, sure. Went just as smooth as always. All right, so we want to make sure our side stand goes out by itself, retracts by itself, stays up. It does. Awesome. Let's double check the measurement against yours.
Looks like it's really easy to adjust.
Yes, it should be super easy. Let's pull it out all the way so we can take a look at it.
Oh, wow. Super adjustable.
Yeah, that is actually the lowest we can go, though, so hopefully that's low enough for us.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the last one, so it was in the lowest setting. This we'll just want to put a little bit of blue Loctite on.
Okay.
So it doesn't come out. All right, so now that we're back down on the ground here, we can go ahead, we'll put the raising kit for our steering stabilizer so it won't run into our forks. And if you look, we got a different fastener here. Haven't run across these yet, I don't believe. It's called a tamper-proof Torx.
Oh.
Because it has that little bit in the middle. If you try to use a regular Torx bit on it, it won't allow it to drop in.
Okay.
So you have to have one that has a little cutout. So it's just called a tamper-proof Torx bit.
Okay. I was wondering what that was.
You can see our factory bolts have some thread locker on them, so we're going to go ahead and apply some blue Loctite to our new bolts.
Okay.
Long one goes on this side over top. The shorter one's going to go over here, and we reuse the plastic mount. So it'll just go like so.
Fair enough.
No tamper-proof bolt on the replacement, but oh well.
Okay.
And we'll replace our washer underneath here too. I see we got a new keychain edition here, huh?
Ah,
Kawasaki,
yes.
huh?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't remember seeing that before.
Well, you know, the bike is becoming Kawasaki, so
All right.
it needed the keychain.
Yeah.
11 Newton meters.
11 Newton meters. And now the bearing works like it should.
Yes.
You see everything flexes and floats.
Outstanding.
Oh yeah, that gives us plenty of lean.
Indeed it does.
We're
sir.
good.
Yeah.
That way most of the weight of the bike's on the side stand. That's what you want. So
Yes.
just the wind can't blow it over. All right, let's get it spun around and we'll go ahead and lower our front end. So we'll leave that there. Now we have to loosen up all the pinch bolts on our triple trees, as most people call them. We'll start with the lower ones on this side. Then we gotta move the master cylinder reservoir out of the way so we can get to our upper pinch bolt and the pinch bolt on our clip-on handlebar. Another reservoir out of the way.
Yep.
Another 2 bolts loosened up. Okay, so now we should be able to lower our jack down and the 2 forks should raise up at the same time. All right, so let's see how far yours is lowered just because we like it so much.
Yes.
$18.75 probably.
Okay.
Hey, what do you know? That's like exactly where we're at on this one.
Wow.
So we're gonna go ahead and
And
pinch.
lock that in?
Yeah, we'll lock that one off. Perfect.
Lock it up.
Yep. And then we gotta find a bunch of torque specs, torque it all up, and we're good to go for a ride.
Nice.
But you can see if we wouldn't have moved our steering damper up, it'd probably be right in the way.
Absolutely.
23 Newton meters for our lower. Just do your best to get in there with the torque wrench. Sometimes it's not pretty, but you can usually get it on. And then, since it's pinching, we gotta go over it 2 or 3 times, don't forget. Now we move to our handlebar pinch bolt, which is 25 Newton meters. And since there's only 1 pinch bolt, you only have to do it 1 time.
Nice.
And 20 Newton meters for the upper triple tree. So we'll just drop it down, snug that up. We can put our reservoirs back where they belong and get the bike back on the ground and see what it looks like.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's a nice lean angle.
Yes.
Not too far. I wouldn't want it standing up anymore though.
No, not at all.
Oh, that looks a lot better.
Yes, lowered, indeed.
So here's our limiting factors when you do make a chassis adjustment like this. You always want to watch your front wheel to radiator clearance. We're definitely tighter than we were, but we still have good 4 fingers here.
Yes.
And when you hit your brakes and the suspension compresses, it's going to get closer. See how the wheel gets closer?
Yes.
So you need to watch for bumps and stuff like that. You don't want to put a wheel through a radiator. Other limiting factor could be our front fender to upper fairing, but again, we have reasonable distance here. On a good bump, that actually might wind up touching. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a little mark on yours from it bumping every now and then.
Yeah.
That's why I can't even believe that the straps would be necessary on top of this, unless you were doing a drag strip run.
Right.
You just wouldn't want it any lower because you'd risk damaging something. And then if you go ahead and do something like this yourself, make sure you're careful. The first time you ride it, your bike's going to handle completely different. It's not going to be like it was before. You might hate it, you might like it. You can always go back,
Yes.
but it's going to be different. So just take that in mind. Don't go out wailing on it like you usually do.
Great advice.
Might have to do a little bit of work on this license plate frame, but I think
Yes.
I'll just do that off camera.
Okay.
I don't know what happens here when I sit on it.
Nowhere near.
No?
No, nowhere near.
Okay. Because also when we lowered the rear suspension, we kind of changed the rate of how the shock dampens. So it's a little bit firmer ride than it used to be. Before, we had a big lever and this is a big lever compared to the little lever we had there.
Yeah.
So it was really letting that shock bounce. So we might be all right. If not, we'll bend it up.
Okay.
We'll keep an eye on it. Further testing, but thanks a bunch for tuning in to the Brox episodes.
Yes.
Hope you guys got some good info out of it, and we made the bike look cooler and
Indeed.
gained probably a horsepower too with the air filter. You get
Yep.
to check out the supercharger fins. And hopefully soon enough we'll have some reason to take this gas tank off so we can see the rest of the supercharger.
That's going to be cool.
And hopefully the coronavirus doesn't halt our progress of getting the carbon fiber air intake tube, but
exactly.
We shall see. So I'll probably put that back on off camera and we'll have it up riding around next time maybe.
Yeah, man, that'll be sweet.
Sound good?
Yep.
Okay, well, thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll catch you next time.
Thanks, Zach. All right, you heard him. We're gonna put this bike back together and take it out for some cruising, so stay tuned for those videos. Information on how you might win this motorcycle is in the description. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you're already a subscriber, tap that bell, and you'll get notified when new content is uploaded. The bike looks amazing, especially in its lowered state. And it's going to perform better too, especially for what we're using it for, ultimate street and track smackdowns. Yes, so stay tuned for some amazing videos. Thanks so much, guys, for viewing. We'll catch you next time on the New Bike Build Series. Everybody, stay safe out there.